Good morning, everybody. It's Jim Feist in Las Vegas, and happy Monday morning to everybody. And Hank Goldberg's on the line with me. Good morning, Hank.
How you doing, Jim?
Not too bad. The World Cup is going on. The handle is so-so because the U.S. isn't in it, so it's not as big as it was 4 years ago. But it's still a lot of action, and a lot of people are excited about it. And baseball, of course, is starting to hum. And you got the Yankees are on a 3-game losing streak, which is big news. But the Dodgers are playing well. And Cincinnati comes off a 4-game sweep over the Cubs, which is kind of amazing. A lot of good things happening, a lot of exciting things happening. It is, it's different now. We're waiting for football to start. I'm studying the NFL quite a bit right now, and I know you're doing the same. So, what's on your mind today, Hank?
Well, the Yankees were swept by Tampa, and part of the problem with the Yankees is they've got some injuries. In addition to that, they're not getting very good pitching right now, and so they've got to shore up their bullpen, and they're shopping for another starting pitcher. They've got some issues right now. I'll tell you something interesting about Seattle. I was watching the game last night, and they were talking about Seattle being a factor in their division. But Seattle kind of made their bones against bad teams, and then they got up against the Red Sox, and they were kind of exposed a little bit. I think Seattle's a little bit overrated. And, like I said, they beat up on bad teams, and when they get up against the better teams, they're not so great. The baseball season has become very interesting, and the Yankees, they score runs, but they're getting outscored because of some serious issues in their pitching staff right now. Now Seattle goes, I think, to Baltimore, where they'll probably rack up some wins, and then people start to overrate them again. Something that's, Houston is a great team. They're going to be tough to beat. The Cubs have been an up and down team. Cleveland is going to be tough to beat too. They're really good. And the Dodgers are starting to hit again. But remember, the Dodgers just completed a series against the Mets. They always hit well in that ballpark, and the Mets are in deep trouble. They just, although the Mets are scoring runs, so the Mets are getting some hitting from their younger players. So the Mets are overs are pretty good bets when the Mets are playing, unless the Groom is pitching.
Yeah, he's pretty tough to score on, that's for sure. Yep. The Dodgers are home tonight. Underwood. Everybody thought it might be Lester for the Cubs, but it's going to be Underwood. And he's a newbie, and he's going against Medea Kenta. Big favorite there, 8-5, 160 favorite for the Dodgers. But the Dodgers are, they're playing well. The Cubs just got swept by the Reds, so you have a reversal of fortune there. The line opened 130. Dodgers up to 160. You got Toronto at Houston, which is an interesting matchup. You got Verlander, which is one of the best pitchers in baseball, against Happ. And Happ is capable. And Toronto just come off a couple victories against the Angels. That's a decent pitcher matchup, and you can tell that by the total. Game opened 7.5. It's down to 7. Verlander's a 225, 235 favorite in the game. That might be a little bit more competitive than than Houston would like, and that's a pretty good pitcher matchup. Verlander is extremely good, but nobody is perfect, and that's just a big price against a pretty decent pitcher in Happ. The Yankees are going to try to break that losing streak. They're at Philly. Philly blew a game last night. They're up 6-2, and they lost the game. Pavetta pitched. Pardon me?
Yeah, they were looking to sweep Washington.
Yeah.
And Washington finally put together a string of hits and came from behind to win that game. That was a good game for me because I had played the over in the game and I had Washington. I just didn't think they were going to get swept at home. And so they came through for me in that one. But Washington has been kind of an odd team. And
they're not generally they're not hitting the ball very well, and Harper's not having a great season at all. Now they go down with Gio Gonzalez to Tampa, and they're going to get up against Snell, and Snell has been red hot against the entire league except for one team. He hasn't been able to beat the Yankees, but they pulled him from the game yesterday, and they went with them. The backup pitcher and did well. They ended up sweeping the Yanks, but now they got Snell against Washington. Gonzalez has been a little choppy the last couple games out, and Snell is tough. Two left-handers going there. The game opened 113. Snell is now 125, and the total went from 7.5 to 7.
the Yankees lost the game on a fluke, Tampa, because they hit a ball up into the roof, and the ball hit the roof and came down, and it became an out when it should have been something else. It's the only ballpark in the league where there's a fixture in the roof where the ball would have hit it. Anywhere else, that ball would have sailed.
Wow. Somebody blew it when the construction, when they put stuff like that in the way.
Well, that ballpark is a joke.
Right. Speaking of a joke, Kansas City Royals this year have been a joke. Probably the worst team in baseball. And they're home tonight against the Angels, who can't be happy with the way they played the last couple of games against Toronto. And but the Angels are pretty good on the road. 160, open 190, and they're on the road against the Royals and a guy by the name of Courtney. I know nothing about this fella, but I have to do a little research on him. But 163, 167 favorite on the road against probably the worst team in baseball at the moment, Kansas City. There's winners on every card, and I like this card today. I think there's some, of course, Cleveland is Clevenger against Gant. Cleveland's red hot. St. Louis picked up victory against the Brewers, which was absolutely necessary for them. But they haven't been all that consistent this year. Clevenger's been kind of a hard luck pitcher this year. Pitched much better than his record is showing. Interesting game.
The Red Sox have been playing pretty decently now, and they're getting their pitching has been coming through lately. So I think the Red Sox might be the team to beat in that division if the Yankees don't come up with some pitching help pretty soon.
It's starting to look that way. The Red Sox seems to be a little bit better overall. However, that can turn really quickly, so I'm not going to... I think that's a dogfight right down to the end.
Well, the Yankees lost another guy from their starting lineup who pulled up lame last night and is going on IR. A key member of their batting order.
Yes.
They just keep people hurt or injuries to their pitching staff, which is been somewhat bothersome to them. So we'll see where that goes. Tampa Bay, that manager's doing a terrific job with that team. They're not a pushover team.
They're doing an interesting thing with that what they're doing with their pitching staff. They use a bunch of relievers. Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, and it works. Tonight they're starting Snell, who's the starter, and I mean, they obviously like to get 6-7 innings, maybe even 8 innings out of a guy like him. But I mean, they'll start relievers and they'll come in for 1 inning, 2 innings, and they just keep doing that through the whole game. That it actually is kind of an experiment that's working, and it might have some long-term effect on the major leagues when people start to see that it has a little bit of success. They don't like the starters to go more than 5 innings anyway. They don't want to wear them out. So a new concept in baseball that we might be learning from the Tampa Bay.
I'll tell you, it's an interesting development in the sports betting business that the Meadowlands is going to start taking bets on sports, which is right across the river from New York. And they should really do well there because New York State has been stalling on passing the gaming laws. And so they're not going to do anything right away in New York. And so they're going to draw from Manhattan, Westchester, because that's an easy trip over to the Meadowlands. And that should be, they should do big business there on sports betting. It's going to be bonanza for New Jersey.
Well, they've been the leader. They deserve to get a break. They pushed the pencil. They pushed the, down the road, and they made it happen. So until New York gets into it, and if they ever get into it, you have your politicians that sometimes stand in the way of progress. So we see that all the time. But anyway, that's good for New Jersey, and they deserve a little break for pushing pushing the envelope, pushing it through the Supreme Court and everything to get that done. We got to start talking some football. And maybe Wednesday, what division would you like to open up with? We'll break down one division at a time.
Well, I'll tell you, there's some interesting developments going on right now across the board. My favorite division is still the NFC East. There's some concern about the Cowboys with the coaching changes they made. One of their wide receivers said he's finally getting somebody who can coach him to run pass patterns. That's ridiculous. He was coached to run pass patterns. He just has not been playing up to snuff, and he's using an excuse.
Who said that?
And one of the wide receivers, who's supposed to be a top guy who underachieved last year. I can't remember who it was right now, but he's the guy they're really counting on this year. But they have they had a big shakeup in the offensive staff this year, and he's saying he's being coached for the first time to run patterns. It's a joke.
Well, when you fail, it's always easier to point the finger at somebody else. So that's
especially when they're gone.
Exactly. Can't defend themselves. Our website, jimfeist.com. You can get Hank's picks, my picks, other people. There's articles.
The other thing is what's going to happen with Tampa, and their quarterback. What do you do?
Well, they probably will lose 3 games. That they might have lost the games anyway. They'll probably be at the bottom of that league unless Carolina falls apart and they can overtake them. But they're not going to overtake, unless there's injuries, they're not going to overtake the Falcons or the Saints. So you're looking at a year that if they could ever scrap together an 8-8 season, they're not going to make the playoffs anyway. But I don't even think they get to 8. I think you're probably looking at 6-7 Matter of fact, the total over and under total has dropped to 6.5 on them now that Winston is out for a couple games. But yeah, if anybody could find an 8 out there, I'd be betting it under, but I don't think you can find them anymore. But should be interesting. Jameis has to grow up a little bit, or a lot. Problems in college, problems still there. It's serious stuff too. It's not.
Yeah, this is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's potential jail time with stuff like this. Anyway, Hank, anything else?
Oh, just kind of slow times, basically. But you know, everybody wants to know where LeBron is going to end up. That's a daily story. But you know, he's in Miami right now with his kids who are playing AAU basketball. They're just sophomores right now, but they're tremendous players, and they've been practicing here in Miami this week, and so LeBron's been hanging out here. So all of a sudden, say, "Oh, LeBron's in Miami. Maybe he'll be coming to the Heat." There's no chance of that happening.
No, no, I don't believe so. I think it's still up in the air with a couple teams, but obviously the Lakers are the favorite, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. They easily could put the pieces together and end up in Philadelphia. That's a possibility. It will probably in another week. I think we'll probably get some solid answers. Hopefully. But interesting to watch. Hank's picks, my picks are at jimfeist.com, so stay tuned. Thanks for listening. Hank, we'll talk again on Wednesday.
Okay, I think Spain should be in pretty good shape this afternoon, but Portugal's my best bet of the day.
All right. That's a free pick for everybody out there.